back in time. So we started give me a minute. Hello. Hopefully we are live and you can hear this. Let me just make sure. Hopefully it makes a nice chain for me to get this right. Last couple of times it has not gone right. Brilliant. We are live. How are we all doing, people? I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone is warm. It is not very warm in here. It's slowly getting better. It's taken a while to warm up. We would have gone live a lot earlier, but I had to do, I spoke about it on the podcast, I had to do this strange energy saving thing that my energy provider's doing, where if we don't use a certain amount of energy during a certain time they pick, we get some of it back for in our bill. And as you can imagine, doing all this and the videos, I use a lot of electric. So if I can help out by giving some of it back into the account, I will do, because yeah, it's not fun. It is not a fun one. I'm not going to lie. I'd like it to be less than what I do right now. But sadly, that ain't the case. I use a lot of electricity when I do these, but yes, thank you for joining. And yeah, we're going to talk about all things Wednesday as per usual, like we do on this channel. I have got some different things I want to try out tonight as well. I found some really cool applications that might be handy to use on the channel and do certain things, which would be good. So let me just say hello to, hey Robert, hey Lou, hey Jazz, hey DJ, hey guys. It's Lou. I have no idea what the injury situation is on Icky and Gregory. I would say Gregory probably will be back, and Icky more than likely the same. I think the both especially with Icky's, it was contact injury, so it's knee on knee, so they're waiting for the swelling to go down. So hopefully they're back, but we'll see what happens. Interestingly, that the short that I did earlier, and if you've not seen it, please go find it. It'll be in the tab that labels shorts. I didn't realise that Darren Moore, and I said it on the podcast, I didn't realise Darren Moore was in the Derby team that we last beat at Pride Park, which is interesting. Give me a moment. Let me get some drink down me. Something to warm me up. But yes, we are in a situation where, as you might have seen, I did a video earlier today talking about Malcolm Awaybe, I want to say. I'm really bad with names. I'm remembering from the Derby County setup, and I remember him being told you can go. It's interesting when you're looking at some of the players we're currently linked with, because this is a second player who is technically a winger. If you look at Holmes yesterday, he's a left winger. And you look at Malcolm Awaybe, Wooby. Oh, I don't know how to say it. I'm not even going to try. Don't clip it. But if you look at this lad from Crystal Palace, he's also a winger. He's a right winger. So it makes you interested to see where the mind of Darren Moore going. Are we having a little bit of a formation change? Because one of the things that I find interesting, when he does 4 at the back, he sometimes reverts it into a 4-4-2, but not a traditional 4-4-2, if that makes sense. And it'll be interesting to see where he goes with that. I know also tonight stream is probably a bad time to stream because of the under 18, is it under 18s or under 21s? I can't remember which one. I think it's under 18s FA Cup game, which I know a lot of people have gone. It's also being live streamed on YouTube as well, so you're going to have a lot of people watching that. I also know there's some other people who are doing content later tonight around 8, so I'm trying to find a spot where I don't hit all audiences, but it'd be nice to like just get more people in if I can. If you're new here, which I doubt most of you are, I'm PunkChef41. I'm Jake, and yeah. So it's interesting. This week we've been linked with 2 players. So we've been linked with Dwayne Helms from Huddersfield, and the reaction to that video in the comment section was about of what I expected, which was no thank you, not for me. I don't see this as why would we get him. Hector and Vidya. When was the last time? The only problem I got with Hector, I'm fine with. The one that I may have the issue with is Vidya. When did he last play? Because it's all right us saying we're going for someone who's a free agent, but if he's not played in a long time, it's going to take him a while to get up and going. He only 30. Jesus Christ, that would be a really good signing, actually, thinking about it. Let's have a look. Derby, he's time for Derby. Yeah, he's not played any football since he left Burnley by the looks of it. But that is a good shout. I'm not going to lie. Got a very good scoring record as well. Gives you that experience you need. Evening, Nat. How you doing, mate? I hope you're well. I hope you're having a beer tonight and keeping warm. But yeah, it's that. It's a good shout. I'm not going to lie, DJ. Vidra is a very good shout when you look at it. But for me, it's just knowing how long he's been without a club, and I can understand it. Like 5 days ago, funny enough, there's a lot of that free agency keep coming into a lot of people's like, here are free agents Sheffield Wednesday should sign, and it's interesting. Like the one here from the Football League world, they got Michael Hector, Vidra, and the other one they got is Dale Stevens. 35-year-old. Where did he play? Oh, he was a midfielder, and that was just in case. What's he called? It Fizz does go. Thing is, a lot of people saying about Fizz going. Fizz is only going to. The thing with Fizz, it's not a case that we'll lose him in January, kind of thing. I think it's more of a case that he will not sign and we'll just let him go at the end of the season. Problem with Hector, he won't be match fit for. This is the problem I've got. Hey, Lewis, mate, as well. I hope you're well, mate. This is the problem I've got with both of them, though. Hector and Vidra won't be match fit because they haven't played any money. Doubt he'd take too long to get up to speed, though. We have Smith, Wilkes, even Winder for now. That's true. Yeah, you got a point. Good point. Now, I'm not going to lie. That's a good point. It was a good game, but I still struggle to watch this World Cup. I'm still not really into it. It's weird. It feels really weird not being into the World Cup. This is the problem with free agents, though. We had the same issue last year, around about this time, with Mendes Lang. He was training with Luton as well. But the thing is, though, there's DJ, I think what Lewis is trying to say, the training and then the match sharpness. Did they put him in any like under 21 games? Did they like have him a trialist one versus, I don't know, Nottingham Forest under 21s or something? There's a difference between being match fit and training fit. And I think that's what we had last season when we got Mendes Lang in at this time last season, because he came in around November time. And he wasn't match fit yet. He was nowhere near it. And we had to do some things to sort him and things like that. And eventually he did get match fit, but it just took a while. We need players who can hit the ground running. And that's my issue with someone like those two. They're not going to hit the ground running straight away. And I think that's an issue for me. But they are good shouts, though, I will admit. Hang on, I'm trying to do something. Not going to clear it, is it? Oh. Hold on a minute, guys. I'm trying to clear thing, and it's not cleared. It will. We might have to change that up later. Yeah, we do need players who are going to be straight from the start. like I said, that's the only issue I have got. You need players who can go straight from the start, straight away. And if you're not going to get that, you're going to have some issues. And you want to have those players ready to go. And especially in the position we're in at the moment, where we are in an opportunity to get going for automatics. Really, let's be honest. That's what the position we're in at the minute. We're going for automatics, and if that's the case, we really need to go for that. And you need players who are going to work straight away. You can't be waiting till them to become good around February, March time. By that time, it may be done. And like I said before, I think that there are definitely some people who have had it that, well, I personally think he'd been told by Chansiri, look, get in what you need now, and I will give you the money to get the extra people in if we need it. And I think that's what you're going to see. So let me see if this works. First thing first, let me pull the green screen down, because if this works, this will be really good. Oh. If I can get this to work, I will be very happy, but I'm doubtful. Yep, but the iPad didn't connect for some. Let's have a look, see if I can fix this. So if I can get this to work, this will be quality. But, hey, there we go. Not now. So, as you can see here, I popped up the Wednesday team, and it pretty much set in the formation we do. So, it's interesting that we got it as, you got your wing backs here. So, you've got, and I know the numbers are not right, and I can't be bothered to shift them. You know what, we will. Let's put that one there, and do it like that instead, because that's easier. But, so, this is the formation Darren Moore likes a lot. He likes the three at the back. So, it's normally McGuinness here, Awickway here, and Say Author here. This is the formation he loves to do. He really does. He loves it to have wing back bombing forward, straight forward for here and here. And when he got the bombing forward like this, he knows that they can go, yeah, come on. He knows that they can bomb on forward here and get into the box here and then get the crosses in. Now, the issue is, if I go back to this formation a minute. Yes. Tools. Need help, not used this software in a while. So he changes it up a little bit, and sometimes he does play a 4. He manages to turn this team sometimes into a 4-4-2, which I like, to be honest with you. But 3, 4. Yeah, not the one he would have done, but hey, it'll do. Where is it? Yep. So, what in this kind of thing where you see Wednesday, because he normally has it as that, and sometimes dropping in there at times, but he does like having it like that. So, where in this would you like to see? I wanted to share that I'm currently singing Jingle Bell Button. That is, oh dear. Fair enough. It is the time of year. I have allowed Christmas songs this year, so yes. Also, let me know what you think of this. Doing this. If you've got a formation you'd like to see, what you think Wednesday could play like, please put it in the comment section, and we can have a look at it and see how it will work in terms of how they play. But like we said, Darren Moore loves to play with the wing backs, and Palmer and Johnson do this role very, very well. Now, the issue is the players we've been looking at have been set as wingers. So you're looking at Holmes and what's he called? Malcolm. Not even gonna try his surname. They've been they're prominently wingers, which you could, in theory, turn this into a. Are you not going to reset? He's resetting. Yeah. So you could play it with four. Could play it with this instead. Um, I like this software, but sometimes resetting the team do my head in because it doesn't actually do it. See what goals? That's why. Let's see if it will reset now. So for the longest time, I was asking for a traditional 4-4-2. You do like 4-4-3? Let's have a look then. 4-3-3. So that will be this one, I believe. Tools, edit. 4-3-3. So 4-3-3 is one that he does like to do four at the back. Let's be honest. He loves to have four at the back, and these two just turn into wing backs. Now, I always thought this role here was Fizz's kind of thing to break up play, but Fizz plays more up here. And when he does play this role, it don't normally Barry Bannon here. And you sometimes have it like with a Josh Windass here. And we'll play with one up top. So Josh Windass will float in between here and here. And the amount of times that this changes as well, it gives them all a chance to bomb forward. So if you put someone like a Byers here, it works really well. Then if you've got, say, Byers, Bannon, and then sometimes say it's Michael Smith up top, or you have a Patterson in that role, it's interesting watching how Wednesday can change things around. And I think sometimes it's good to see what Darren Moore formation going into game, because I think sometimes it's hard for you to look at what the formation is. Say when he puts in a Patterson, you're like, well, where did Patterson go? Is Patterson going to play the 9 role? Well, if Smith is in, he's not going to. So he's going to play the floating role, which Windass does now and again. And I'm always interested to see what Darren Moore does with the formation. And it's been interesting watching him do formations. It's why this Dwayne Holmes and Malcolm kid are interesting, because that's the Dwayne Holmes role there. And that's the Malcolm role there, kind of thing. I'm very, very interested to see what Darren Moore's thinking going to be going forward, because there's a lot of opportunity to change it up at the minute. And there's a lot of this squad at the moment where you're looking at them and going, sometimes when they play in the game, you're like, where does this player fit? And we've had that for a little bit, like, kind of thing. Now, it's interesting that we're linked with 2 wingers, and so far, only defender I've seen us linked with properly with the Talking McGuinness and the lad from Hibs, who we spoke about on the Talking Wednesday podcast. Also, talking about Talking Wednesday podcast. Talking Wednesday podcast out every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Please go leave a review on this on the review site for it. It does help it a lot, and we're talking about all things Wednesday every Tuesday. And I'm happy to see if you're on the Talking Wednesdays Twitter, Workout will be coming back very, very shortly. He's had some time off to just get his head straight, and he's a lot better now, and it's great to see. So we'll be doing more stuff with Worko in the near distant future, which will be fantastic. So I would be interested to see where Darren goes with formation, because the more I look at the wait a minute, let's just because the more I look at the players linked, I think it means someone like a Mighton is going back. I really do think Mighton's going back, just because the position we're looking at bringing in some players is the position he plays. And it says to me that maybe we just turned around and said, look, we're going to look elsewhere, try and get someone, unless it's for cover. Unless we're bringing in cover. He sounds like Bowie as David Bowie, Malcolm Bowie. Ah, thank you. That's a good way of explaining it to me. I love David Bowie stuff as well. But yeah, it would be interesting to see what we do with this going forward. really is, because I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot of things get linked to us. Now, Nixon of the Sun has linked both of these ones. You've got the lad who's at Hibbs, who have been said that he's not going to sign a new contract. Our club going to go in and put a bid in for players who are free agents if they're that desperate? Or are they going to wait until the free agent? You have to add the E, though. Ibowie. Yeah, Ibowie. That makes sense. I think we might play 5 at the back due to injury. That's a good shout. That's a good shout. What would you say? 5 at the back makes sense. He has done that. He did it a couple of times last season near the back end. I think it was the Sunderland game. We did have a very strong lineup at the back. The thing is, the big thing that I got with the 2 players who are linked, the one thing that I keep hearing from people is that they've got pace. Don't come at me about Josh Windass. I know what I said. But it's the one thing this team lacks a little bit of is pace. And if that's what he's going for, pacey winger. But you also look at some of the players we missed out on. We missed out on the lad who went to West Brom and from Salford. It sounded like we were really in for it. And I knew someone would jump in at that. Thank you, Robert. But that being said, if Josh Windass is out with a groin injury, you're going to lose pace there. We still don't know roughly what the situation is with Windass. Is Windass an actual tear? Is you have to might have I keep reinventing it. So even after his death, he might come to very literal. Yes. It's interesting to see the players we're looking at. We all know we want strikers, a striker or an attacking player up top, because we miss that kind of position. I'd say we don't need someone creative. We've got Bannon, but having someone else does help. But then it's at the back where I think we need to start looking at different options as well, just in case, because we don't do well with injuries. And it's one of those ones that I, like I said on Talking Wednesday podcast, I was just annoyed if we didn't get another one because I thought it would have been really good for us to get another one just in case this happened, because it did happen. Also, while I'm at it, let me check what the goals are for the under-18s at the moment. Let's have a look. I'll unmute it. Mute this site. Let's have a look what goals are. 1-0 to Wednesday. Get in. So the Wednesday under-18s are beating Barnsley at the moment. So brilliant. And this under-18s, if you've seen some of it, it's very interesting to see about how we are. On the website was something about the backroom staff, but you're on about, we spoke about it on the Talking Wednesday podcast. You're on about, what's his name? I know you're on about. He's the Sully Hull manager. Bloody hell. There's a video on my channel talking about it, because I did a video on it and I remember it. What's his name? Oh, my brain gone dead. Name. What's his name? If you can remember it. Hey, Darren Moore. Tango had been told off according to the staff for not wearing his shirt. Yeah, it was going to happen, let's be honest. The moment he took his shirt off over there, they were going to turn around to, can you put that back on, please? That's not what we do here. You knew it was going to happen. I'm not surprised, to be fair, in the slightest. Have they even had a picture done? Yeah. The name of the bloody coach. Name. Jimmy Shan. Yeah, that's him. Why did that take a long time for me to remember? Because he's only just got him in. Because it was similar to when he brought in Stephen Ireland in some point last year, who was trying to come and help with set pieces. So it's Shan. You've worked with him before. It's one of those ones where we've been. Well, I haven't. I'll give the person who credit is. Worko, Jack had said that we were looking into. He thought we should have got more coaching staff in. And around that time when they were talking about it, it suddenly happened. So it's like they were like, yeah, we do need more coaching staff. And I think it was a case that it was something they wanted to bring in. It just not managed to happen yet. But now that it's all sorted, having him in, I think it helps. I think I'm of a generation that I think the more staff you have at times, the better, to a point. I think it was interesting. If anyone watched the interview that Eddie Howe did, where when he got there, he built the act for the people at the club to build an area in the stadium for the players where it was just for them, and then there was a place where they could go talk about the tactics and stuff that was separate to where the players' dressing room was. So it's like next door to it. So there's like a room that they walk into to do, but there's a bit where they can chill and be that, and then they can all get into where there's somewhere where the tactics and stuff, which I think that's an incredible idea. I think it's a good way of making the players switch off, and but also then telling them to switch on. So I think having a separate base to turn around and say, this is where we're going to talk about this, this, and this makes a lot of sense. And it's something you see quite a lot in American football. American football will have separate areas where the separate coaching staff will speak to those players individually. And it's something Sam Allardyce was actually very good at doing. He was always having a coach for each kind of situation. So there was Carlos didn't get the Wolves job, did he? No, Carlos. Where is Carlos? I think Carlos is at Real Betis. It's somewhere like I think Carlos went to Spain, if I'm not mistaken. Where did he call it? Celta Vigo. Sorry, Celta Vigo. He went to not Real Betis. He went to Celta Vigo. He'd been in the running for a couple of UK jobs. Alex Young, do you think we'll get McGuinness on a permanent deal? All depends on what happens on Cardiff's side. Because Cardiff are not in a good position in the Championship as it stands. I would be very interested to see where they go with it, because they could turn around and said it'll go two ways. They'll either turn around and say, no, we want him to stay here because we want him to help us if we get relegated or be a first teamer in the Championship, or we need to sell him because we want to get another player in to help us stay up. I can see us putting a good deal in place, and I hope we do, because I think if we do that, it shows a big sign of intent. It's a massive sign of intent of whoever, if we get him, because it shows us as fans that we're serious about a player. And it's also, it would be nice to have it when a lone player actually stays, because it's been very rare, and especially a lone defender recently, that we've been able to keep. And it's the one thing we seem to fall in love with a lot is lone defenders, and then struggle to get them. Because it's that catch-22. If they go down, which I don't think they will, I think they've got enough to stay up. But say they did, it could be a case of that we can turn and say, well, we're a Championship club if we go up. But it all depends on where they're going to build next, kind of thing. It's a weird one. Right then, truthfully, how many of our current squad in the Championship enough? Let me try this again, Lewis. Right, let's actually, if we're going to do this, let me bring up the Wednesday squad. We'll bring up the Wednesday squad and we'll have a look, and we can do like a check mark thing where we can cross off yes, no, yes, no. Let's do that. I will have to get the thing back down again. The green screen. Give me a moment. So if I 13 profiles. Let's see if I can do this. Right. Right, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if this can work. I think it'll be good. Ah. Oh, I'm very sorry, Darren, but you were in that team. All right, I'll go to iPad if it's gonna let me. There it is. I didn't realise until it did it. So let's have a look at it then. So we got. Can I do markup on this? I can't, can I? Right. So we've got Cameron Dawson, David Stockdale, Pierce Charles. Well, Pierce Charles is the future, so he's staying definitely. Cameron Dawson, from what Darren trying to say, he sees him as a player who's going to be around to help Pierce Charles. Now, Stockdale, I don't know what situation. I don't know if Stockdale's got a year contract or 2-year contract. If it's a 2 years, we're going to have to keep him. And I think he'll be much needed experience. So in the goalkeeping bit, you're probably keeping all of them to a point for me. So Palmer, you give him another year deal because I think he's earned it. Jaden Brown, you send on loan. You put into a League 1 or League 2 team. Hennigan, you keep him. He's been solid. I think he'll do well in the Championship. We know what Iorfa can do. Yes, he's lost a little bit, but he's starting to look better. I think he's someone you could ideally give to go away. Give to what do you call it? So Iorfa one that you could do. Femi Wu is definitely going to be one that stay because he's been one for the future. The one on here that's the big one is Jack Hunt. Jack Hunt will go for me. I think he's lost the pace he would need up in the Championship. I think Reece James, you could probably bring him, but I still don't think it will work. Michael Whitway, we know he's on a 3-year deal, we think. You hopefully sign McGuinness. And Brennan comes back and probably goes on another loan, personally. So out of that lot, you're probably saying Jack Hunt, Jaden Brown, possibly Dominic Iorfa, not good enough for the Championship. I'm just saying, maybe we move him on and try and get someone else. You have McGuinness as the next Iorfa, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Midfield, this is the bit that's interesting. So I would, on midfield here. So let's see where we at. Midfielders. Will Vokes, 100% yes for me. Dennis Adeniran, no. I like him, but he's too injury prone. We can't be carrying players anymore. If he doesn't come great after this last little injury he's had, I say we cut our losses, personally. I don't know how many other people agree with that, but I say cut our losses. It's not going to work. We tried it. Move on. Barry Bannon, 100% yes. And it's interesting hearing Barry Bannon talk about the possibility of doing starting to do his UEFA League B license and start going into coaching and management and saying things. It all depends what deal Stockdale's on, Jez. Joe Byers, 100% yes. Yes, he does have a little knock now and again, but when he plays good, he's superb. Fizz is a yes. Let's be honest. Fizz is a yes. Marvin Johnson, no. I would say it would be time to move Marvin Johnson on. Backinson is going to be a yes anyway because he's only just really dying, really. Bit part, as he getting. You're saying bit part, but Barry Bannon changes games. If we don't have Barry Bannon in the team, we struggle. And we need to start looking for the next Barry Bannon, personally. You could probably have that in Fizz, but I don't think they're not that same. I think they'll stay personally only on a 1-year deal. Yeah, I can agree with that, Lewis. Let's all look up top. So, Lee Gregory for the experience, yes. Give him a year. 1-year contract. The experience will help. Josh Windass, I'd say yes and see what happens. Wilkes, I don't know how long his deal is, but I'd definitely just loan him out, get him the confidence, because so far he's not shown it. And granted, it's very early days with Wilkes. He's only played 8 times. He needs to be shown of what he can do. And we haven't seen it yet. And I know, before people start, I know there's plenty of people that are going to be like, no to Wilkes. I've seen it already, DJ going, no. He barely played. He's not started consistently yet. If then after, say, he's had a year out on loan, he's still the same, you sell him. I think it's very hard to write him off after 8 games of him playing fully. I know we've not seen enough of him, and we need to see more. I'm not arguing with that. But Wilkes, for me, yeah, we chased him. Yeah, we got him. Yeah, we got warned by Hull and Donny fans. And Barnsley fans, to be fair, they said he was useless. But he's our player, so let's back him and see what happens. Patterson, sadly, for me, I think he is probably, if we go up, he's not going to be here. I'd be very surprised if there isn't people looking at him in January. It would not surprise me if Patterson is someone who's been looked at in January, because I think he could go. Not good enough. That's why, or he'd be regular. DJ, I understand what you're saying. I get it. I understand it. But at the same time, we've seen him 8 times. That's 8. Like, we all wrote, we wrote players off the path who hasn't been good enough. And I understand what you're saying. And that's your opinion. But then you've got to then try and find a buyer for him. That's my other thing. If he's not going to work here and he hasn't had a good spell, how can you sell him? Everyone can be replaced. Oh, definitely, Jimmy. Everyone can be replaced. And for me, same. Wilkes, I haven't seen enough from him yet. I don't know if we're not playing to his style. I don't know if there's something he's not doing in training. Who knows? We have no clue. I was hoping Wilkes was going to be good already. But it seems like we got a Wilkes who, I don't want to say doesn't seem interested, but Wilkes is one of those ones where we need to see what happens. If someone came into him and said, like, get rid of him, then fair enough. I just don't know if we've seen enough. I've seen enough to say that he needs to go out on loan. If he's not getting in the first team, go out on loan, because at the end of the day, he's our player. That's the problem. Now, if we loaned him, we could have just sent him back and it wouldn't be an issue. And knowing our luck, we'd probably loan him and he'd come in and be a really good player, and then we'd go to sign him, and then either we couldn't sign him or we'd have to do, what do you call it? Leave 1 or leave 2, we'll buy someone like Accrington or Bristol City. No, I understand what you're saying. I do understand what you're saying, but for some reason, I don't know why Wilkes hasn't looked good enough yet. I don't know why. It's an interesting one. Michael Smith, he's got a 3-year contract. He can score goals at each level, so he'll be staying anyway for me, to be fair. My turn, and on the loan player, the only one out of the loan player that I kind of really want to keep is McGuinness, but I wouldn't mind taking a punt on James as well. I think Mighton's one of those ones where he's too much of a luxury player for us. And I think if we had to have that, we don't have enough. We wouldn't want to carry a luxury player right now, if that makes sense. Woody. One that played for us, McGuinness. We've been linked with the Hibs defender. Let me have a look. Hibs. I always forget his name. How to say it as well. So let's go to Hibs. Hibs. 3. That team. That team. And team. He's literally just not signed a new deal that we'll put in front of him. Wait. Ryan Porteous. Us, Millwall, and I think Stoke are linked with him. And he won't sign a new deal. It's very, very simple. they put a deal in front of him and he won't sign it. So that's where we are at the minute with that one, because he just will not sign a new deal. So we have had that one as well. Now let me pull this back. I'm with nothing on. So yeah, that's where we've been linked with at the minute. Let's have a look. I still hold out some hope for Wilt, but he needs to start producing soon. Yeah, I'm at that point as well now, to be fair, Jez. He needs to start showing us something for what we got. And I wonder if that's why we were looking at other options in the summer. And I'd be surprised. And I wonder if that's why we went for the lad who went to West Brom. I wonder if he was the Wilkes replacement if we didn't get Wilkes. And then he went to West Brom, and then we were like, well, we'll go back to Wilkes then. It's an interesting one. We went hard and you know what? That's not a bad shout, actually, Darren. Let's do one. Start a poll. Poll, even. Wilkes. Let's have a look. Wilkes. To Wilkes day. Go. Right. Tom. Wilkes. Day. Right. Go on. I'll let that run for a bit. I'll be interested to see what the results of this is. Let's have a look. You still have Bristol City, Bristol or Accrington couldn't even afford his tea, let alone to pay him. Yeah, that's true. He's on big wage. It'd be interesting. Myton still is a skill player we need. No one takes in that player anymore. That's very true. It would be interesting to see where we will be with Myton, because I don't see him being at Forest, to be honest with you, at all. I really don't see it. I just don't. I think they'll look at other people and use him as a person to maybe move on. Let's have a look here. Lewis, from what I've seen from Wilkes, he's poor. I said the same about Rose and proved right. I argued until I blew in the face over Rose with fans. Everyone said give him a chance. No, I get what you're saying, DJ, and it's sometimes you get the players who just fit and it works, and this is the risk with some transfers you make. Some transfers you're going to make and it's not going to pay out, and you're going to go hot and heavy for them, and it just won't work. And that's the risk of transfers. There isn't a buy. The only way you can tell if a player's going to work is if you do a loan and then you buy them. And a loan player can sometimes be really good on loan and then peter out when they actually finally get a club. We had that a little bit with Lewis McGugan. We've had it a couple of times where we've had loan players come. They're great on loan and then they just fizzle out when they get here because they haven't got that kind of thing behind them. You never want a player. When a player comes in, you want to back them 100% and see how they do. But I will agree, the bits of what Wilkes has done so far, it doesn't look great. Like, one of the big things for me was the last game we had, where he had the opportunity to run with the ball and he just kicked it straight back to the keeper. And I think, but you also know if we got rid of Wilkes and we say, right, Wilkes is for sale, say someone like an Ipswich or Plymouth got him, we know what would happen. He'd turn into a world beater suddenly. So, right, that poll ran. Let's see what the results are then. And poll. Oh, 50-50 with 10 people. So, 50 say stay, 50 say go. I do not know, actually, mate. I'm needing to know that because I'm going to that game. I've got a mate who's a Newcastle fan who will be going as well, so it'd be good to meet up with him, mate. I haven't seen him in a while. Also, the half-season tickets are on sale if anyone's interested as well, which is interesting there. Let's have a look. Let's go back to this. I always maintain that we sign these impressive players and they don't turn up because playing for Sheffiel Wednesday is a different grade. There's some of that, yeah, I can see that. There are some people who play at Hillsborough and it can be too overwhelming, and then we send them elsewhere and they play better. That I do agree with that. Is the Newcastle game booked up? Because I want to get... I don't think tickets even gone on sale yet. Let me have a look. For Wednesday. Newcastle United. They'll go fast, though. I will say that. They will go very fast. Match day ticket due to be confirmed in due course, so keep an eye out on the Wednesday Twitter. Have it with notification going, so if you got it with notification going, you'll know when to go live. He's a player... He played in the cup the other night against Mansfield and were poor, but the whole squad were poor until Byron Smith. Yeah, to be fair, that Mansfield game wasn't really a good indicator because everyone was poor in that. I think the thing for me, I don't know if we're not playing him in the right position. I don't know if we're not utilising him to his best of his abilities. I don't know. It's weird because we signed... It's another one of those ones where we signed a player who most of the following season who was out injured. And then he comes and maybe... A classic example is Dunkley, right? Even though Dunkley could play and he played a good loaded game for us, never saw the best out of him, really, in a Wednesday shirt. Gets his move to Shrewsbury Town, hasn't been injured since he's been there, and he's also been solid for them, kind of thing. It happens. He tried wing and striker, though, and he was poor at both. Where can he play? He was good cover when all the other centre-backs were injured. Yeah, he was. He was very good cover, I will admit that. I don't think he really had played a striker role, if I'm honest. Because any time I've seen him try and play the striker role, he's gone straight back to being like a winger. Wilkes is going to be an interesting one. Wilkes is going to be the one that rumbles on and on and on until he does something and he looks decent. And then he'll have a couple of games where he's decent, and then he'll go back to having a couple of games where he's rubbish again for a while. And I think that's how we're going to have the whole situation with Wilkes. I hope he comes good, but with the time we got with him at the minute, it needs to come good fast. Especially if we're going to have players who are out injured. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know if it's a mental thing. We don't know if it's a fitness thing. It's easy to speculate about the ins and outs, but we don't also have the danger of unsettling the existing squad. Dean is doing a great job with what he got. Oh God, yeah, he is definitely. The thing is, I don't think there's much we need in terms of players. I think there's not much we need at all. I think we need to be a little bit more consistent up top, because even though we have 50 goals this season with us and Ipswich and Man City, we don't take enough. We create enough chances. We're just not getting them in the back of the net, and that's the issue. I think we need to start looking for a Barry Bannon replacement very, very shortly. The day we don't have Barry Bannon in the squad, it's going to be weird. I think it's going to be very hard to replace him. We already know that. I think we do have an issue with certain players sometimes turning up. The amount of times that I've seen certain players who are fringe players, let's say, not turn up in a game where you think they would turn up, and they don't. And that's something that needs to change. And I think the problem is Darren Moore has got a set of players he likes to use. He's got a set of players who we can do the changing. At the moment, my big concern is if Wilkes wants to have a chance to show what he can do, he needs to come off the bench when he's called upon and do something and actually light the field up or get the ball, because The moment he loses the ball, he loses interest, kind of thing. I don't think he'll come good fast now. Honestly, if I'm honest, I don't think he will come good fast. I think it will. I think he's the kind of player where it doesn't come good fast, and either he has a really good pre-season with us and then turns up the following season, or we do sell him. The problem is he need to play. He needs to play consistently week in and week out well. And I think, I don't know if he's not playing enough game time full stop. Maybe he needs to have a run in, like you said, a run in the under 23s. He's always getting into argument with Bannon. Maybe he does need to have a run of games in the 23 just to see what happens. And then bring him in once we've figured him out. That's a good shout. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. I want him to come good. That's the problem. He's one of the ones I want him to come good because I think on a day, when you've seen him at other clubs, he looks really good. And it's funny you should say that, actually, Jez, because I got a Hull fan who's good friends with Jordan Windass, Josh's brother at Oldham. And he said there were some issues off the pitch that weren't great. Kind of, he didn't say what they were. He just said he's not great in a good headspace at the minute. So it could be something like that. Problem is, Berahino was good. The problem is we just didn't play him enough. He would score a hat-trick and then we bench him. The problem is Berahino was actually decent when we had him playing on song and then we just didn't play him after that. But it's going to be an interesting case how we fix a situation with Wilkes. I don't want the live stream to be always about Wilkes at the same time, so I'll try not to bring it up too much. But it is a problem at the minute. I'm not going to lie, it is a problem. You look at that and you look at how hot and heavy we went for him. For us, he should have been going the business. And Jez did call it out the moment we had that 200k bid. I remember the video. The moment we had that bid turned down, DJ first comment was, let's not get him. Let's not pursue him anymore. We're done. I don't see if he came and it was 200k, then great. But his first thing was, I don't see much in it. Let's just walk away. And you never know. Sometimes fans are right like that, but we're not managers. Bro had loads of problems from West Brom until he came to us, though. True, yeah, he did. The West Brom thing did cause him a lot of issues. It's more the Stoke City problems, actually. It was the Stoke City spell that didn't work for him because at West Brom he was used to having someone like have his arm around him. I think at Stoke City he didn't have that. Let's also remember with Wilkes, so let me just check something here, just so I don't get this wrong. Mallet Wilkes. The lad is still only 23. And I say still only 23. If it's true, it's a weird one. It's a very, very weird one because he got a long name. Current season, let's have a look. Like 8 in League One, he's had 8 appearances, 1 goal and 3 assists, and 1 yellow card. He played 718 games. I'd be interested to know actually what was the assist he got. He got the assist versus Wickham, and he got the assist versus Vale, and he got the assist and the goal versus Burton. So you look at it of what it is. And at Vale, he played as a centre forward, and at Burton, he played as a right wing. That's what they're saying he did anyway. So we'll see what happens. I like Burton. He did a job for. Yeah, he did. I think that season we just lacked someone else. Yeah, I thought Berahino could have been one that we could have kicked on, but I don't know if that was a case of Darren had some goals he wanted him to hit and he just didn't. I don't know. Playing in Cyprus at the minute. Looks like he's having a really good time. But we'll see what happens with Wilkes. Let's also remember he's only 23. He could be one of these ones where he doesn't come good at us, but later in his career he does come good. There are players that does happen to a lot, and if that's the case, we just got to go with it. Like, we've had it before where we've had players come good after being at Wednesday. Like, where was that player when he was at us? He was useless. And then you go, well, it is what it is. And in hindsight, if you know that, you don't sign them, do you? But hindsight's a lovely thing. So I've been going for about an hour now. I'm going to go and watch some World Cup, I think. I don't know what I'm going to do. I may play some FIFA or Call of Duty. I'm going to do something that I can easily do and forget. I'm in one of those moves where I just want to sit down, chill. I say chill. I may even go play Switch Sport Golf, because that just come out. And I was trying it at lunchtime and I suck at it. So that'll be fun. But thank you for joining me once again. I do appreciate it. We will definitely be doing a live stream on Friday. I will also, on the Friday live stream, I need to check this actually. France lost and Denmark lost was a big shock. Oh, did Australia qualify? Jesus Christ. That's a cracking result. Oh, what am I looking for? What's this from? 1-0 to Argentina versus Poland at the minute. So on the Friday, I don't know how long and what time I'm going to be going at. What time do I normally do the Friday streams? They're around 7:30, 7:30. Anyway, if I go a late stream, which is a possibility I might do, I may do around the grounds looking at who's doing what, because it's like Plymouth, Vale, Bolton, Bristol Rovers, Charlton, Cheltenham, Morecambe, Exeter, Peterborough, Barnsley. That's a big one in our one. Ipswich, Fleetwood, another one that we need to go our way a little bit. And then you've got the game on Saturday, which is a 12:30 kickoff because of football. So we'll see what happens. Oh, fantastic. Oh, I'm happy for them. I've got mates in Australia, so that will go down very well. So thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one, and I will look to do more stuff. I wonder what it's like to have a shout out on the Talking Wednesday podcast. Thank you, as always. I don't know. We'll try and do one. Darren, the best way to do a shout out on the Talking Wednesday podcast, leave a community topic. Either send us a tweet at TalkingWed, send us an email at talkingwed@gmail.com, or I don't know if you're in the Discord, or when Deck puts out a post on a community tab bit for community topics, put a thingy in it, might get into the show. So yeah, France lost to Tunisia. Wow. That's how far away I've been out of it today with football. I've just been doing other stuff. Please go give a look at the video that I did at 6 if you haven't already. And please go give the short little try as well. On shorts as well, I will be putting in a community tab bit myself, asking ideas if what people want to see from the shorts. I've got some ideas for it. I'm trying to do more. That is the whole thing. This from now, I've got the ability to do more, and I want to do more. So without pushing myself too hard to burn out. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and enjoy the rest of your evenings. And don't, I don't know what I was gonna say there. Don't forget to keep warm. There we go. That's a good way to end it because it is freezing. So I'll see you in the next one, guys, and